My name is Narendra Kumar, and we are from NRK Academy. And today we want to talk about a very taboo topic. People don't talk about it at all, and that is death. Grappling with death. That's the topic. Now, we learn a lot. Some people learn a lot. They read books. They get to know the issues of the world. Some people don't learn that much. They get into jobs. They, they live out their life. They try to understand things, and they do understand. A point comes, maybe around 30s or 40s, we get to know broadly everything. We are set in a certain kind of lifestyle, and we are comfortable in life, and we are happy, so-called happy. And maybe not that fulfilled, or that something is inside which wants to find some greater meaning, maybe. Uh, for some people, for most people, I don't know. So this I don't know is a very good thing to say when talking about death. You know. So what do we say about death? It's over. So actually, in one sense, death is very simple. We all know from childhood. We know somebody has passed away. A grandfather passed away. Great grandfather passed away. We grow older. Sometimes, very tragically, a friend passes away. A friend's father passes away. Someone close to you passes away, which makes it very deep and personal. And when you cross 40 or 50, as I am now, it is happening every day. Recently, Lata Mangeshkar, the great singer of India, passed away. Bappi Lahiri passed away. And these are people who are like in front of us when I grew up with them. And now they are no more. My mother passed away. My dad passed away. My wife's aunt passed away yesterday. One of my very close relatives passed away. A friend committed suicide. Death is a fact. Now, we feel very bad when somebody passes away, but I find it a little strange. Frankly, from very young age, I used to find this very strange that people feel bad that somebody else died and not feel that bad uh, about the fact, ever present, that we are also going to die. I used to really find it the strangest thing. And then I read certain statements of Steve Jobs, especially Woody Allen. Now, Woody Allen's whole focus was on his movies, and everything was about death, literally, directly, nakedly, brutally. Talking about death all the time, obsessed with that. I think he was obsessed with death. He's still obsessed with death. He's still alive. Now, at one point or the other, we can't escape death. And one of the most beautiful statements in about death with respect to some, I call him a mystic, Jiddu Krishnamurti says that I have lived with death all my life. I've lived with death all my life. How does one live with death? How do you live with death? You live with life. How do you live with death? So let's look at death scientifically. What is death? Death is the cessation of your breath stops. I've had times, sometimes, when I was young, I was almost drowned. There was a near-death experience. We all have had slightly near-death experience. Sometimes when your breath doesn't come well. Recently, I had a surgery, and there was some issue with my breathing. And for a moment, we have all know how it feels. We know intuitively how it feels. We have directly experienced. Some of us have really had near-death experiences. We know what it feels in the last 10 minutes, though we don't want to think about it. But we know how it feels in the last 10 minutes when we are going to die. We are feeling it. The life is beating and wanting to live. There are moments, I think, even psychologically, we feel so frustrated, we feel so suicidal. Even that time, we become aware of death. Sometimes we get alleviated, our pain gets alleviated by the fact of death. We think, okay, at least we're going to die one day. Let's leave it. Whatever problems we are facing right now, they're not so big because we'll die one day. Death becomes like an escape house. And then these gurus talk about death as if they know something. I absolutely believe they don't know. They're just talking. They're just talking. Our soul goes away. In the movies, they show some light coming in. One fact is that, it's a fact, scientifically, philosophically, is that there cannot be nothing. So there cannot be, that's my view, there cannot be a soul detached from body because we can't even imagine it. Even to imagine it, we have to imagine some light. So one interesting thing we can do is imagine you don't exist, your soul exists. If you say my soul exists, then my soul has to exist. So it has to be there in some form. That's why we give this light. You can't imagine nothing. And I've seen so many people. I have met not even one person, and I cannot meet even one person. I cannot meet even one person because nobody can know nothing, because there is no nothing, which means this lovely blue sky, that wonderful cloud, these wonderful trees, you know, this whole universe and me was not there before I was born, will not be there after I pass away. This moment, this wonderful wind which is caressing me right now will be there. The day I realized that, it's like I'm facing, accepting, not being able to escape it. I'm an ordinary man. You're an ordinary man. We're all ordinary men. We are really like a mosquito, a dog, a cat, a plant. It is my obsession also, this fact, because it is a fact. And if I don't accept that, I'm worried that I will get into some illusion of, that, and that conditioning comes in. Deep within, the conditioning starts coming in within you. No, there is some absolute somewhere. You see so many people being obsessed by wanting to find out absolute truth, the ultimate truth. And there's no ultimate truth at all. In the 21st century, we know too well how we are born, how weren't there. Forget death. One of my friends in my college said, okay, we talk about death, but what about the fact that we were not there before we were born? I was born in 1965, 1964, there was no me. This is not such a difficult fact to accept if we face it. There is something called facing that fact. Trust me, there is a certain wonderful feeling you get when you face that fact. At least relatively, it's a very comfortable feeling of acceptance when you face that fact and you're not stuck with this whole obsession about death. And you don't get stuck also because life really pushes you. And accept life also in the acceptance of the fact that there is no nothing, in the acceptance of the fact that you will not be one day, in the acceptance and facing of that fact that we have been conditioned to think ultimate truth and some heaven. We are not allowed to face the fact of the literal death and the simple death, the fact of death, the obvious death, which even a kid knows. You know, I'm talking so much about a very simple fact that the day after, let's say, 100 years, none of us will be here. Just talking about a simple fact, I'm naming it. I'm telling, let's all face it. This could be like a vision for all, a vision for all that we face this death. And how happy we'll be, because it will be like a party, all night party we are having. And strangely, the day I realized it, on some deep level, I became free because nothing can touch me. Because how can anything touch me if I face it? So, on the one hand, you have to face your conditioning that there's no ultimate truth, no matter how many these Sadgurus and all this talk about. They don't know anything. Sadguru is an ordinary man. Buddha is an ordinary man. All of us are ordinary men and women. We know very well, factually, we came from the earth. Factually, we came through mutation and evolution. Factually, we are all animals. Something happened in our brain. God knows what happened. And let's go to biology some other day and talk about brain. We don't have to know about all about to know that we'll die one day. You do all the research about the brain. You know everything about biology. You will still die. That's a fact. That is philosophy. Philosophy is not about particular knowledge. So we will definitely die. After 100 years, none of us will be there. It's a happy thought. It's not an escaping thought. It's a facing thought. You face that fact. And when you face that fact, oh, you feel so relieved. And then what happens is you start living. You get a damn about your psychological body. You get a damn about what people are thinking about you. And strangely, your biocentric being comes. And then when you look at a child, you discover yourself, the real person inside. A child is always exploring, knowing. He's a human animal, wanting to know, wanting to discover. Very simple. He just wants to know, observe, do things, sing and dance and learn, do all the things that gives him joy. You discover joy. And the joy doesn't depend a lot on particular thing. The joy is ever present. Maybe we are all bubbles of joy. The joy is bubbling all the time within us. That's the pickup we're talking about. That is what is actually spirituality and religion. That is there. We talk about the bliss of life. Maybe that is the bliss of life. Always, you can get the bliss of life by just facing death. Maybe life is simpler than we are making it. It could be true, because it's difficult to face death, because it's difficult. Because it's very difficult to accept that I will not be there. But remember one more thing. You will not know, luckily, that you are dead. Of course, the last 10 minutes will be terribly uncommon. Maybe you should be poisoned then and get finished. But after that, I will not be. Really, I will not be, which means there is no death. I'm telling something very strange now. And that is what probably all the gurus are telling. There is no death. There's no death. We are immortal, because I will not know my own death. So this moment, this now me, and this is a wonderful, basic, free feeling of being and living, knowing that I don't know anything, knowing that the little I know is okay, knowing that everything is okay. That we are here on this earth, really, really, to just have a great party. So let's party tonight. Let's remember those people who have passed away. Close people also, it's okay. Because you are also going to join them. But remember, they were there, they were alive, they touched our hearts. It's from the heart, from our love, from our mind, from our learning, from our seeing, from our engaging with life that life lives. Life lives because I'm alive. Life lives, some other life lives because he's alive, either now in front of me or in my thoughts. And that is why we cannot waste our time. We don't have to not waste our time. We live every moment. These are the simple things I want to say. Really, I have not said anything. We will go. We will go one day. So that's all you have to grapple with. You have to face it. Thank you.